Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am Shenell Felix, and this morning we continue our conversation by talking about female representation in the parliament. And we had a young female representative at the Yes Leadership program that held a Women in Parliament sitting recently. This morning I am sitting and chatting with Dinesha Manning. Good morning, Mrs. Manning. Miss Manning, how are you doing?
Morning, I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Now, it's good to see young women who have put themselves forward for leadership, but not just women who are putting themselves for leadership, but women who can competently represent Tobago on a national level. You participated in the program. Tell us a bit about your experience.
The program was nothing short of exhilarating. We spoke about the topic sextortion and introducing it into legislation. We spoke about not only it not being in legislation, but we have a gap in the legislation, which means that we have things in the legislation of corruption and sexual offenses, but nothing relates to sextortion. And it basically means if someone comes to you about their boss in terms of sexual favors in conditions of promotions or anything, or even hiring you, or even threatening you in terms of sexual extortion, it means that it doesn't have enough or specific legislation in terms of making it a criminal offense. So we spoke about that and bringing awareness to it, and it was a really interesting topic, and I hope people understood.
Right. Now, explain to the Tobago population and the wider world watching exactly what the program was, because a lot of persons don't really know what the Yes Leadership program is about. And I would assume that it's not just about the women in parliament sitting, but there are other elements to the program. So tell us exactly what the program was about.
Okay, so this is the first cohort of the program. It was launched last year and it started this year. So we were the first set of women parliamentarians that represented, and they put together past and present ministers, not ministers, members of parliament, and also senators, and those were the facilitators in the program. So we learned about leadership, we learned about business etiquette, how to behave in parliament. We also learned about media and communications, that is knowing how to understand and show yourself out and represent the parliament and Trinidad and Tobago effectively.
Right. And who are some of the persons that you would have interacted with that really stood out to you during this journey?
I met the Speaker of the House, which was very exhilarating experience. I met
Mrs. Bridget Anisette George.
Yes, and I also met some senators. I met Mr. Paul Richards as well. He helped us with media and communications. I met Mrs. Hazel Manning. There were a lot of past and present members of parliament there.
So how was that for you, one Manning to another?
It was really good. She asked me, "Are you related to me in any way?" I'm like, "No, I'm sorry, but I wish."
You probably are, the way how the family trees are set up.
Yes, I was hoping to. I always get that question.
Okay. And for you, how has this really broadened your perspective on women in leadership?
It gave me a different perspective because women over the past few years have been representing the country well. It has increased over the past few years, and I want to ensure that women especially feel confident enough to represent people and to ensure that they have a voice as well.
Were you the only Tobagonian participant?
No, I wasn't. There was Kaylee Lewis and Nikaisha Legaton as well.
Excellent. Both familiar to the Tobago Updates family. And as we wrap up this morning, what was the networking opportunity like for you, and what can we see from you moving forward with this new training in your arsenal?
Well, let me firstly say that on the first day of the leadership program, we were thrown into networking. So they gave us a paper and they said, find a Tobagonian, find somebody from Tobago East, from Tobago West, from Trinidad East and North and South. So we were thrown into get to know persons, find them, find a lawyer, etc. And it forced us out of our little bubble because remember, a first day of a training program, you don't want to get into it immediately, but they made us do it, and it made me feel comfortable. And I met a lot of amazing young women that are already successful lawyers, students, and persons who give back to their community. And I am really proud of myself and other persons that they came out of their shell and they really represented their organization and themselves well.
So as we wrap up, what can we see in the future for you now that you have this new network of young, successful females, as well as communication training and parliamentary training? Where are we going to see you going after this?
I know that I can apply all of this to my personal life. I can reach out to some of the young ladies that I met. I can also apply to other organizations that I'm a part of. I'm a part of the Mount St. George Village Council. I have my own NGO, Chilling with Positivity. I can apply all of my leadership skills and mentoring from this program into everything in my life.
Excellent, and we look forward to seeing nothing but good things from you.
Yes.
Guys, unfortunately, we have to wrap up right here this morning. We want to thank you so much, Dinesha Manning, for coming in and also being a part of that Tobago cohort that went down and represented us quite well at the Yes Leadership Program. Guys, we want to thank you so much for viewing this morning. Thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting, and doing all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Shenell Felix, and thank you.
Start to rise, the energy fill the sky.